Oh yeah. It's been a long road since we got to boldly go. It's been a long time, but Picard's time is finally here. What is going on, you guys? It looks like after 6 years, it's finally happened. Paramount Plus has put out a Star Trek series that or season, I should say, that even the haters are praising. If you see anyone not praising this new season of Picard, you know it's because they're toxic and they got to keep their hate levels up. But otherwise, everyone seems happy-go-lucky about the new season of Picard. And wow, I enjoyed so much watching this first episode. Now, right off the bat, this, I'm sure, will be a somewhat spoilery conversation here. Curtis Tate was asking that. Medallion said there are not... no, wait, let me go back a little bit. If you watched the trailer for this new season, you pretty much basically know what to expect. There's not much to spoil with this first episode. I might even do a second live stream later in the week for Picard, so those that aren't able to watch can come in again and talk about the new season here. Really, this is a bottle season for Star Trek, for Picard. This really doesn't even need the previous two seasons. If you never watched the first two seasons of Picard, you'd be absolutely fine starting with season one. People are saying this is the first real Star Trek that we've gotten since Paramount started, or really CBS 6 years ago, you guys. I want to know, audio's a bit quiet on my end. That could be me, Sushinator. I turned down my volume a little bit because I noticed it's been peaking a little too much, despite what my audio mixer says. I'll turn it up a little bit more here. But that's pretty much the best I can do. I really don't want to start peaking because, you know, I might be taking some clips out of this video and putting up a whole new video. So for people that don't want to have a giant conversation about this, they just want to hear the good bits. Yes, there are amazing scenes. The ships look legit. They look great, but they don't look overly fancy like a lot of the Star Trek we've been getting. Very quiet for Archmage 2. Let me know if it's fixed a little bit. I turned it up a little bit. Don't want to go too high. Or you might have to turn up your volume. I don't know. I don't have any other sound bites coming in really, except for those super chats. Those sound bites come in, but I try to not have those too loud. You can let me know how it is. You guys, have you seen Picard Season 3, Episode 1, called The Next Generation? That's the name of the episode. You guys, we start off with The Next Generation. We know what that means. Though I would say, even at this point, we're just setting up. The season is just setting up. At this point, I don't think Picard has any notion of trying to get the team back together. Pranakasha Productions, thank you so much for that super chat. Halfway through episode 1, be back when I finish. It's a great, good length episode, but I think it's probably like, what, 45 minutes? Well, I watched it on Paramount Plus, of course. Where else can you watch it? But I have the with ads subscription. So Paramount is the worst streaming service with adding commercials. I do ad commercials with commercials on all of my streaming services now. You hardly notice the commercials on any of them except for Paramount Plus. They load it up and there's a lot of commercial breaks. I even had, and I don't know why, this must have been a mistake. Right towards I was watching also, what's the thing with Sweater Boy, with Will Wheaton? Trek whatever. The thing you watch after these episodes with Will Wheaton hosting. Tons of commercials in that as well, but they even did one where they had a commercial break, came back for, I don't know, maybe 7 to 10 seconds, and then had another commercial break. Had to have been a mistake. No one would do that on purpose, not even Paramount Plus, even though they like that money, yo. Tommy Hare says, I had tears in my eyes. Yes, just because it felt legit. Now, remember, this is not The Next Generation Season 8 This is a 10-hour Next Generation movie, and it feels like it's a Next Generation movie. Terry Matalas, the showrunner, who also worked on Voyager and also worked on Enterprise, he said he always felt there should have been another TNG movie after Nemesis. Nemesis didn't really wrap up anything at all for this wonderful crew, this wonderful cast, this wonderful show. Didn't wrap up anything. He felt there always should have been another movie. So he's made this into a 10-hour movie to really wrap up the Next Generation. I can't think of another show, property out there that deserves to have a proper wrap up. The TV series had a great wrap up, but the movie side of TNG never had a good wrap up. And you can see a lot of influences from Wrath of Khan, of course, TNG films, Undiscovered Country. You see a lot of Star Trek feels in this show, and it's very nice. Tons of member berries, but these are really tucked in member berries. These are things you're gonna have to really look for, but there are a lot there. You know what I saw? I didn't even see it the first time. I had to go back. There's a Colonel and Nescar in there, you guys. It's in there. There's a lot of things in there. Philip Baca, I agree. F the haters. Jaloja, indeed, I agree. Jaloja, you guys. F the haters. Anyone that you see hating on this show is a toxic person. Regular critics, people that might have things to say about it, like, oh, I didn't like this camera angle or whatever, or something like that. That's normal. That's critics. That's people being objective, you know. But then the people that are just hating on it, if you see that anywhere, you know what you're looking at. Okay, it's a huge reveal. They revealed their true nature. This isn't a show for hating, and that's why with this show, this one series of this one show, I am going to give the Star Trek fandom another chance. I swore off the Star Trek fandom because they allow too much toxicity, and I've been part of the fandom for 35, 40 years, actually 40 years at this point. And to see the last couple of years, all just the toxicity in there, which is the internet, you know, you're going to get that. I swore off, I'm like, this fandom doesn't deserve to be talked about until they clean house. Well, I think the fandom is going to be very happy with this series, you guys. The Slickness DM. So will season 2 come on HBO now? Canada services suck. Season 2 of Picard from last year? You guys don't have it yet? I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, but we're on season 3 now. But again, the people that hated season 1 and season 2, like the real critics that just hated it, they're the same ones saying that this new season is amazing and exactly what everyone's been asking for well before they brought Star Trek back in 2017. Chuck A, how's it going? Brian Dawkins, thank you so much. When they started Series 2, they started with the Wine Harvest. We didn't have to worry about it like Series 1, where we didn't even know how it went. Oh, wow. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. No, we're good. And I'm one of the people that enjoyed season 1 and season 2 of Picard. But before the first season even came out, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going into this thinking about it being Star Trek. I'm going to go into it wanting to learn about these characters and have a character study, because I'm really into that type of thing. And they did that for me. So I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons, though I can't remember the adventures at all. I just remember character moments. This first episode, we haven't even seen everybody yet. We just got a couple of people. And it's kind of just like a, hey, I need someone to trust, I trust you type of thing. I still don't think Picard is even thinking about bringing in the rest of the team yet. So he is getting a little bit nostalgic for the TNG days, you can see. But man, they are really doing it up. They got something for everybody. The intro, completely different than the previous 2 seasons. The previous 2 seasons, you'd have a scene, and then they would have the intro. It's like a minute long with the cool effects and the that's theme song that they came up with, and usually the effects going on in the theme would kind of show you what's coming up throughout the season. None of that here. This one, it's just a quick little bumper. It just goes Star Trek Picard, and then it shows you the name of the episode. Now, notice at the beginning of this episode, this is a spoiler, non-spoiler, because it doesn't really matter. They open it with "in the 25th century," which is exactly how they opened, what was it, The Wrath of Khan? Was it The Wrath of Khan that opened that way? I don't think it was the original picture, was it? Or the motion picture. The original motion picture. They started the exact same way. I think it was Wrath of Khan. I can't remember, you guys. One of you guys, I'm sure, knows. And then the same exact fonts. You got some original OG Star Trek fonts in there, but you also got your TNG fonts in there. This thing is legit. Sushinator says, same here, about 40 years now for me. Yeah, I've been through all the Star Treks, you guys. Of course, TOS and reruns, and then I remember the day that TNG premiered. I think I only found out about it a week or two ahead of when it actually premiered. I was like, oh my gosh, what? And so I was there for the premiere, and then I was there for the premiere of every single Star Trek since. 'Twas Wrath, says Archmage. I was right the first time. Campusto, thank you so much for that super sticker. Very much appreciated. Oh, I finally get it. I've seen that character on a bunch of super stickers. It's a pear. For some reason, I was always thinking it was a bird, but that's a pear. I love pears, you guys. Not as much as I like them peaches, know what I mean? The theme music is from First Contact and transitions to the TNG theme. Yes, it does. You actually get First Contact at the very beginning, the very first title, what do you call it, credits. You get a little bit of First Contact, and then I think just the little snippet for when they actually have the episode title of the previous season's theme song. But when you get to the credits, the end credits at the end, do not skip the end credits, you guys. That's where I wanted to cry, was the end credits, because it was so Star Trek-y beautiful. Do not skip that. But that one, you get like 3 or 4 Star Trek songs. I think you get a little bit of the Enterprise, the outro song, Archer's theme, I think I heard, the TNG theme, oh gosh, and then like 2 from the different Star Trek films. But the visuals is what really puts it all together. Yes, again, watch all the credits at the end. Oh, I as soon as it started, I'm like, what? This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I mean, you think Lower Decks is a fan series for Star Trek? Check out the end theme. This is the most, what I want to say, most uplifting, most this is Star Trek type thing that you'll ever see, I think. Because we're not getting any more Picard after this. This is the final season of Star Trek Picard. Last season of TNG. Well, we'll see. I don't think they would have TNG go on without Picard for more seasons. I wonder, and I think they should do this. I have no idea. I think Picard should be killed off at the end of this season so that they can really just complete the TNG story and close it out so it can never be done again. Have it be a special thing that no one can ever ruin 15, 20 years from now, you guys. They might try to do a prequel. You never know what audiences want. T. Stoney loved this, but not counting on Secret Hideout learning anything. I don't care about Secret Hideout. They're just giving the money and putting in some of the effects. It's all about Terry Matalas. He's the legit dude. He's in charge of this. So you don't have to even think about Secret Hideout. They're just producing it. They're not running it. Terry's running it, and Terry is a hardcore, lifelong OG Star Trek fan who's actually worked on a bunch of classic legacy Star Trek. This is the new Legacy Star Trek. This is the first Star Trek that we've gotten since 2017 that is Legacy. I don't even know if it happened, if it's occurring in the same universe as the previous 2 seasons of Picard. And thank you for that super chat, Stoney. Very much appreciated. Brian Dawkins, super chat. I watched to support Patrick Stewart as an actor. Yes, and love everything in this episode from Patrick Stewart. And this episode also has some really good comedy in it. There's a scene with Riker and Picard in their guest quarters that is very much has the same tone as Shatner and, well, not Shatner, but Captain Kirk and McCoy in Undiscovered Country when they have special guest quarters on that prison planet. There's no prison planet here, though.
Hooray for you!
They tried to be lovers, tried being the operative word. And we've seen that many times in TNG stuff. In All Good Things, when we're going into the future timeline, Picard and Beverly, you can see that they used to be married at some point. So that's been talked about a few times. They tried to have a relationship. Didn't really work in here. They kept up with that. I mean, that's pretty much canon. And they kept up with that canon. But also, you know, you have to realize it's going to be tough because Picard is who he is. He's afraid to get super close to someone. He's very duty bound. But also, Beverly Crusher is the wife of his long dead best friend, Jack Crusher. So he always had crazy feelings about that as well. Michael Albert talking to Brian Moore. There's something going on with that captain. He wasn't even on the bridge for leaving Space Dock. Okay, Captain Shaw. I feel, I don't know. I thought he was very rude to Picard and Riker, and it seems like he was only welcoming them on board because it's his duty. But I don't think he wanted to. I feel, we have no idea at this point, I feel he has something against these two specifically. Picard's been around. They've had a lot of adventures over the years. There's been a lot of collateral damage, I'm sure, as well. What if some of that collateral damage has something to do with Captain Shaw's history? Whether, I don't know, maybe a family member or something got killed, or he, maybe a ship crashed into his home. I have no idea. But he very much seems to have a personal grudge against Picard and Riker, but we're going to have to wait and find out. That actor that plays Captain Shaw actually tweeted me this morning, just a few hours ago, saying that Captain Shaw has a reason for acting the way that he does. So that kind of, for me, confirms it. He's probably going to be a pretty cool character. However you feel about him now, I'm sure we're going to learn more about him, and we'll probably be on his side a little bit, and maybe, just like 7 of 9 and Picard a season or 2 ago at this point kind of had some stuff against each other, but they kind of they're friends now. They got over it. They figured it out. But they had a lot of prejudgments towards each other. Maybe it's another type of situation like that. Yeah, he was busy having his dinner. What was that? Green meat or something like that. I have no idea what it was, but it's not from Earth. Oh God, what if it's Orion meat? Also, another thing, there's an Orion briefly in this episode, and he looks very different than the Orions from Discovery. Well, even from Picard. Picard had that really awesome... was it? I can't remember. Some of the shows were getting... Didn't Picard have an Orion to deal with last season? That girl. I liked what new Star Trek has done with the Orions. They kind of look like just awesome. They're perfect. Even the men are just beautiful. But they didn't do that with this Orion. They just got a dude, just a regular dude that's kind of buff, and they put green makeup on him, just like they used to do back in the day. So they even went legit with the look of the Orions. Even though I like what they came up with they kind of look like Ken and Barbie. in previous Star Trek shows, they went back to OG style with this new season. Maybe Shaw is the son of Beverly's. Ooh, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they've given nothing about this, and if you've seen the trailer, you probably guessed this too. I guessed it in the trailer. Still don't know for sure if this is the case, but I kind of feel that way. I'm sure that this kid, Wesley's younger half-brother, is the son of Captain Picard. It's got to be. Just look at his face. Don't know why he has a British accent, but hey, I'm sure we'll get that all figured out. Michael Albert also, what's going on with Riker saying that Deanna and his daughter needing some time away from him? I have a theory going back to previous seasons. I think season 1, episode 5, I think it was. I think Riker and Deanna's son that died however many couple of years ago, I think Riker's still having problems with that. He's probably a grumpy goose. Grumpy goose. New band name, I call it. He's probably a grumpy goose at home, and he's looking for a distraction. He's looking for that new adventure. Maybe being retired, he's kind of listless. I remember when my grandpa retired after working for 50 years. My grandma was not having a good time with him the first couple of years that he was retired, because he just didn't know what to do with himself. He'd get bored, listless, unhappy, grumpy. I'm guessing that's what was going on with Riker, but also that perception could just be all in his head, and Deanna and his daughter are probably, maybe they're fine with him. They understand, they love him, but he probably feels like a big turd. They are laying out clues about the son's father, but it feels a bit too on the nose. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That one, we really don't know much with this episode. Even Picard has no idea what's going on, and that's why he's on this venture. It's not quite an adventure yet. He just knows his friend is in trouble, and he wants to help, and he's worried. That's it. And he's just letting the clues come as they may. He has no idea what this is about, and neither do we. We got just a little hint that there's a big bad villain out there. And we got a little bit of a cliffhanger. Just a tiny baby cliffhanger. Not the kind that, where Riker's standing in the front of the view screen going, fire. Nothing like that. Though that's how Picard would say it. He knows nothing. He's just going to get himself in trouble and try to figure out what's going on in the process. I would love that, Archmage. Archmage says Riker should have retired to Risa and started a PI business. Riker, PI. Treybone, do you think that they're revisiting the whole parasites taking over the Federation concept? I would love it. When I first saw the trailer, that came to my mind too. When in the trailer, when Beverly said, don't trust anyone. Don't trust Starfleet, don't trust anyone with this. I thought of that same thing. I don't know if we'll go back to that. I don't think those creatures ever came up again in TNG series, right? But it was even though it was like season 1, which is like what the hell is this season? I think it was season 1. If not, it was season 2. Conspiracy aliens. Yeah, that'd be crazy if they're back. Now in the trailer, we can see the big bad walking around. Maybe that's not even the big bad. Maybe that's just one of the bads. Because I do know there's something big about this season that they have not revealed. They haven't revealed it in a trailer. They haven't talked about it. Some sort of cameo that is a big deal happens in this season. No idea what it is. I just know it's big. And so maybe, I don't know, maybe some other big bad from the TV series comes back. No idea. Maybe it's just Cisco showing up. No idea. But I know there's something crazy going on that they haven't revealed to us yet. And it's not Moriarty, because they showed him in the trailer. Can't wait to see what that's all about. I'm guessing, it would be crazy if Moriarty was doing something weird. Even though he's supposed to be in that ship in a bottle in that little mini holodeck briefcase, that little Walkman holodeck. I kind of feel like they just need to talk to Moriarty for some reason, and so they go and get him and take him out of his simulation. No clue. I love it with these. I love it when I come up with theories like this, and I get maybe proven right, but in a way better way than I ever would have expected. But we have to wait and see. Laris gives good massages and good advice. She's very supportive. I was so glad that they kept her, at least in this first episode, they kept her as part of the home life that Picard enjoys. Combusto says, I know you tease. Oh, I never tease. I give it up. Okay? I put out. Maybe Janeway? Ooh, that would be very good. Whatever it is, I hope it's a big one. Denise Crosby will be a twist. Yeah, whatever happened to her half Romulan daughter that is actually just Denise Crosby? I can't remember if she survived or not. I don't think that would be big enough. Janeway would be a big one, but also Janeway is already in Prodigy, so kinda in hologram form. So that wouldn't be that big of a reveal. Cisco would be a big reveal. But I don't know, I kind of feel like it's some big bad from TNG or one of the films or something like that. I don't know what would be from the films. It's not going to be Shinzon. It's not going to be F. Murray Abraham in his little skin suit. Little Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Star Trek style. I feel like this season should have Borg because that's such a big part of Picard's story. But we already did the Borg. We know we're gonna get Lore at some point. We know we're gonna get everybody at some point. There's no villains from Generations either, so it must be from the show. Or what if it's a villain from one of the other Star Trek series? What if it's from DS9 or Voyager? Avery Brooks is not going to appear on this show. We shall see. I mean, I kind of feel like he wouldn't. The actor just probably wouldn't. But you never know. You give enough props, you say enough pleases, and give enough money, you could probably get anybody. He got Patrick Stewart, and he thought he was done forever. He planned on being done forever. Wasn't Laura dismantled? I believe so. I believe Data deactivated him or something like that. But things happen. Now I'm wondering if Laura is just out there somehow, or do they need Laura for some reason, and they actually have to have him reassembled? Man, that would be crazy. But I can see that being the case too. Because if Laura was just out there, they would know he was just out there. It'd be in the records somewhere because he was supposed to be all in a dresser drawer somewhere in a laboratory. I'm guessing they actually have to go get him and say, "Hey, we need Laura. Put him back together, please." I brought some Energizer batteries so he can't be awake for too long. He can't be activated for too long because they'll go out. Yeah, I said that, Energizer. I'm a Duracell man, damn it. Yeah, and archive footage doesn't count. I agree. After the thing with Seven, some active admiral needs to come to the rescue, thinking about the dinner conversation. Yeah, Seven is, Starfleet isn't all she hoped. But I bet you, Riker and Picard make it all right for her and get her all excited for it again. Now, going with the mystery cameo, you guys keep thinking on it. Keep thinking on it over the weeks, over the days, the hours, the minutes, and we'll see who gets it. I'll keep track of it. We'll see who gets it. Oh, O'Brien. Yeah, that's a good one, Jeffrey Scott. Ooh, I wonder if the Doctor you're talking about, Picardo, will make a cameo. That would be a cameo I'm sure everybody wants. Yeah, Amanda Plummer's character is not the big bad. Yeah, Christopher. Um, just having her in the trailer makes me feel like it's not the big uh, bad. Just maybe a mini boss. What if Ensign Rivers from Enterprise went into stasis and they woke him up in the 25th century and he becomes the big bad because he missed out on so much cool stuff? Avery doesn't want to act anymore. What if Thomas Riker makes a comeback? Now, you DS9 fans, tell me, did Thomas Riker survive? Did he end up surviving? I can't remember if he died or if he lived. I feel like we could see Geordi LaForge come in and outrank Shaw at a pivotal moment. Now, a non-important spoiler about Geordi LaForge is Picard mentioned to Laris that Geordi is now the one in charge of some museum or something like that. So I don't even know if Geordi has an official Starfleet post. I'll have to go back and watch and really listen and see what I can make of that comment. Oh, I'll talk about the stuff with Raffi and Starfleet. Now, Raffi, I don't even know if she knows. She's under orders from someone. She's on some special mission, trying to find out information about the big bad. But she doesn't know anything yet, really. So we don't know anything yet, but we just know that she is undercover. She was on that, I think it was a Romulan planet, undercover trying to dig up information. She's pretending to be a crackhead or whatever because her history has a little bit of that, so it's easy for her to go undercover with that style of character because it's believable if anyone tries to look her up. But I don't know if she's under. I definitely don't think she's under Starfleet command right now. Some other force is giving her orders. No idea what, but I'm sure that'll be a big reveal. Maybe that's the reveal of the big cameo that's supposed to be in this season. Geordi is a Commodore 64. Commodore, maybe he retired, half retired to go take over a museum, an art museum or something like that, but he did his full service, so he'd probably have some accolades under his name as well to anyone. It's probably that incident in the TNG Lower Decks episode that Riker ball kicked in front of everyone. That'd be the big bad. Pez says Thomas Riker was sentenced to life in a Cardassian prison. His fate is unknown. Oh, he could get out of that. Any Starfleet named Starfleet person that gets put away somewhere, next time you see him, it's because they escaped. But it's unlikely he survived the Dominion War unless he managed to escape when the Cardassian Union fell. Well, one thing I know, if you don't see someone die on film, they didn't die. There's always a chance for them to come back. That would be crazy. What would Thomas Riker be up to? I mean, he's going to be the same age as William Riker. Will he have no beard? Would they get Jonathan Frakes to shave his beard? Or do they have to use effects to remove his beard? Yeah, nice to see the La Serena is still in service. I don't know if it's in. Well, it's still in service. It still works. So Raffi's using it for her special mission. I don't know if it's a Starfleet vessel now, or it's just a rogue vessel, like it started off as. Madeline Raffi is communicating with someone supposedly from Starfleet intelligence who refuses to be on screen. That's Section 31 sounds like to me. I just hope it's not what's her name from Discovery, because it kind of felt like she went off to do Section 31 stuff and has some time travel abilities going on here. Access to it, if I recall. I don't recall very much of Discovery, but if I recall, Michelle Yeoh's character. I love Michelle Yeoh, just don't like that character. But But if Worf is working for Starfleet Intelligence, also that makes a lot of sense as well. Commodores are still a thing in the 24th century, maybe, says Chuck. Of course, we're in the 25th century now. They might have just got rid of the Commodores, just like we did in our time. We got rid of the Commodores and got some Apple computers. Yeah, what if it's the Doctor from DS9? Oh, I would love... Now, there's been a lot of jokes. I follow Robert Picardo, and he's done a lot of jokes about having the Doctor in Picard. So I'm guessing he's not in it, which is why he feels okay to do all these jokes about it. But you never know. Maybe it's a way just to distract us. Medallion says, I don't think it's Worf. I would feel... I don't think it'd be Worf either. It feels like it should be someone we don't know, or someone that we haven't thought of in a very long time. I feel Worf is probably off being a diplomat or an ambassador or something like that. What's up, Orville Nation? How's it going, PJ? So does Wesley know he has a brother? I watched The Ready Room, that's what it's called, with Will Wheaton, and he was interviewing Gates McFadden and Patrick Stewart, and they were talking all about Wesley has a younger half-brother. And Will Wheaton kept saying he didn't know anything about it. Are you going to tell Wesley about his brother? And Gates was talking about how Beverly hasn't seen Wesley in a very long time. He's a traveler. He's off somewhere. Not a very good son, if you ask me. Ignoring his mother like that. That I want to see. I hear so many good things about Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I am just a sucker for anything time travel, multiverse, any of that stuff. I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. I'm interested in watching it. But I hear it's very good. It's won some awards. Tribone says, yeah, he's not in it. Yeah, Raffi's handler called her a warrior. It's got to be Worf. Ooh, that is a good point right there. If so, I hope they reveal that in the very next episode. Because I don't want a big old mystery for that just for Worf. Don't get me wrong, I love Worf. I love Michael Dorn. But warrior... Okay, the word warrior struck me today when I watched the episode. I heard the word warrior. Raffi was called warrior. Oh! I just had a thought. In the trailer, Moriarty calls, when they summon him or whatever, he calls them all old warriors or something like that. Oh, okay, Moriarty is Raffi's handler. I just solved it. All of you write it down. I'm 100% confident now, because that makes sense. It is, Moriarty is the secret handler of Raffi. He's got something to do with this, as we know. I think he's using his little holodeck box to expand into the actual LCAR systems and Starfleet systems, and he's looking at everything. He's following everything. He has a long arm of the law. I'm calling it right now. Write it down, you guys. I get points if I'm right. Oh, Ro would be great. Yeah. Ensign Ro, who I'm sure is ranked up a few times by now. She would be great. She never died, did she? Or did she just disappear one day? Went off somewhere else. Daniel Vance theory. This all has to do with TNG emergence, where the ship becomes sentient and uses the crew's logs to create a new entity. Holodeck episode on the Orient Express. Oh, I remember that. Ooh. Yes. I like that one, Daniel. Yeah, because this is all going to connect to some big episode, or even might even have been a small episode. They even they had so many little Easter eggs. Even when you first see Beverly and you're just kind of panning through her quarters on her ship, you see all kinds of stuff. You even see a plaque. She got some sort of honorary award from some planet, some mission, and it was a mission from an episode of TNG that we never even saw. It was just referred to once. And they actually made a plaque because it connected to Beverly. Yes, the LCAR interface finally looks right, yet modern. Yeah, it looks like a natural evolution of the LCAR system. They actually brought in Michael, what's his name, Akuda? And maybe it was Drexler, I don't know. They brought the OGs who created the LCAR back in to create the new LCAR system. She defected to Maquis, right? That feels right. She was a little firecracker, always trying to kick some booty. She was a friend of the friendless. Michael Arlberg talking to Danny Vance. I feel like they were parodying that episode on Rick and Morty. They might have. Rick and Morty's got all the nerd juices in it. Let me go here. Oh. Come on. Where did it go? Where did it go? I had to click some YouTube stuff, and now a thing I was trying to read is gone. Well, it's not gone. I just can't see it. Oh, no, I see it. Jeffrey Scott. It's probably that perverted candle ghost that banged all of Crusher's family. God, I hate... That's the only episode I truly do not like. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that dumb ghost episode. Terry Metalis actually posted a screenshot from that episode of TNG a couple weeks ago and said this is a must-watch if you want to get what's going on in Picard season 3. I think he was just joking, because I'm sure he probably doesn't like that episode either. But I hope not. Medallion, I wasn't a fan of that, to see Beverly be that cold. She's got 20 some years of life experiences. Something has brought her to the point where she is right now. She's I don't know what it is, but she's obviously been under duress for a long time and on the run for a long time. And we don't know why yet. I can't wait to find out. But I have heard from the showrunner that there is lots of Beverly doing doctor stuff in this season. They get her back in the bay, and she's doing this do no harm, saving people, all that stuff. So you'll be seeing the Dr. Crusher as well. Gibbs, Riker pointing out the burn and ash pattern from the phaser was odd too. Yeah, he was touching the ashes, and I'm like, dude, that's a dead body. That's a cremated dead body you're going through. I don't think he realized that. The middle of where the corpse was led me to believe a full-grown queen, like conspiracy alien. Something's going on. The whole don't trust anybody. What is that? Is that conspiracy? Are people going to have their necks get all big and bloated? If we see any bloated necks in any of these trailers, we know what's going on. Sub Rosa, that was the episode. Medallion says, plot twist, the father of the kid is Ronan from Sub Rosa. Pratnakasha Productions, I guess you finally finished the episode. Episode 1 totally rocked, and being a musician and composer myself, I totally love the soundtrack. Yes, they take a lot of those classic songs from various classic Star Trek, and of course they re-recorded them, because if you compare them side by side, you can tell they're a new, brighter, fresher, more present recording. I have heard that before, but I always forget that. Michael Albert says, do you know that Gates McFadden has an identical twin? There's a Thomas Crusher out there as well. That's her Thomas Crusher. The new Trek Darkness. Actually, well, Darkness as far as looks go started with Star Trek The Motion Picture. They didn't do it with the TV shows, but they did it with all the movies. And we have to remember that this, actually everything on Paramount, all the newer Trek is movies. Are the movies? None of them are TV shows. They're all movies. Even Strange New Worlds, which is episodic, is still movie style. But now I finally feel for the first time since 2017, well, really since 2005, that we're getting real OG Trek. It's got that feeling, the real feeling. You really feel like this is taking place in the Gene Roddenberry universe. And this is only the first episode, so we got more to see. But I can tell you right now, haters of all newer Star Trek, haters of Picard Season 1, Season 2, that have seen this season, they get advanced copies, they all absolutely love it, and they have said that you really don't get super hooked on this new season until episode 2. So next week apparently is the one that's just going to turn us all over. It's going to have its way with us. That's why it has to turn us over. But it's going to have its way with us, and we're going to all be in love with this show. Right now we're like, oh, hey, what's up? A little footsie under the table. But next week we're going to propose. That's what's going to happen. Michael Alber, full orchestra on the soundtrack. They put a lot of money on this production. Oh yeah, it looks like it too. And I like that it not only looks great, but it feels right, but also it doesn't look overly slick. The effect stuff on Discovery is way too slick. I mean, that could be good or bad for different people with different opinions of what they like to see. I like it to look a little bit more like models. I'm sure these are not models. I'm sure it's all digital. But it doesn't have that overly slick look to it. Looks great, but not overly great, which would, I think, is too much. Medallion says, yep, some Starship porn. Oh, I got nothing, Kelly TV. Star Trek, Terry Metalis knows nothing about me or my channel. I was not even on their radar because I'm so Orville centric, and I love being Orville centric. But I've been popping in on his Twitter a little bit, and I'm starting to get a little responses. I'm starting to get some likes, so I'll keep going on that. Maybe he'll take some, maybe he'll show me some mercy and send me some episodes. I would love to get advanced. Just as a fan, I would like just to keep watching. There's a tiny cliffhanger, and man, that tiny cliffhanger done me in. Where I'm like, damn it, I need more episodes. And I'm usually not like that. Usually I like to wait, but this one I wanted to keep going. And I think it might just be because we're just getting started. I need a little bit more if we're just getting started. I at least need the 2 episodes, and I'll probably be okay. Medallion says the Neo Constitution refit of the Titan. Yes, it's the Titan, but it's a newer, more eco-friendly. I don't know. It's a newer version of the Constitution, Constitucional Nuevo, and so it's even got new technology in it. Even though it looks fine, it's got new technology in there that even Picard doesn't understand. It's so new. They were going to go to maximum warp 9.999. It's like absolute zero. They're going to go to absolute warp. And Picard's like, shouldn't you tell engineering that we're going to be doing that? And 709's like, no, it's all automatic now, blah, blah, you don't have to tell anybody anything. And he's like, oh, damn. I didn't know that. And then he tried to cover up for it with some light banter. Archmage Frey, maybe Terry can name a planetary system after you, too. Maybe there's a... Yeah, he's got his own planet. He's Matala Prime, which is one of the planets we were on in this episode. Very quickly, this show is not going to be away mission planetary heavy. It's going to be very ship heavy. They're going to be on the ships, doing ships in space type stuff for the bulk of this season. They felt that was the best. Star Trek was always the best when it had those bottle episodes. They wanted to keep that going with this season because that's when you get the more cerebral stuff. That's when you get the more deep conversations type of stuff instead of running around on a planet looking for whatever you're looking for, beaming down, hoping no one sees you beam down. They need a new warp scale, warp 13. Warp 359. So the reason for the Dark Bridge is actually to save energy. Yeah, very energy efficient. Pranakasha Productions, thank you so much. Totally off topic, but our dear Elise Hargreaves launched a brand new Kickstarter campaign for Space Command today. Be sure to contribute if you can. Yes, and you can check out my Twitter. All the Space Command stuff, I always either quote tweet or retweet. So if you need, you can always find links to that Kickstarter on Twitter at Egotastic FunTime. I'm getting a phone call. Let me just see who it is real quick. I'm not going to answer it, but it might be my mom. It was my mom. Let me give you a little thing about my mom. My mom and my other stepdad, her current husband, they're moving out here to where I live, and so they're looking around for a house. We found a beautiful house in a prestigious neighborhood just the other day, like 2 days ago. They sent it to me. I looked at it, and then yesterday I met the realtor to go look at the house for them because they're 2,000 miles away right now. And so I went and looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a dream home. So I told her about it. She's like, oh, that sounds great. They put in a bid like an hour later, and they're supposed to hear back any minute now. Probably they already did because she called me about getting the house. And if so, oh my goodness, just in a month or two, my mom will be here. I have been out here in the middle of the country for 13 years, and I've only seen my mother a handful of times for a handful of days, if that. And I'm so excited I'll be able to see my mom anytime I want. And because my mom's coming out, my brother, my sister, my other brother, they're all interested in coming out. I'm going to have family again, you guys. After all this time, I'm going to have family, and I am so excited about it. But back to Star Trek. Back to Star Trek, you guys. Yeah, Terry was calling. Hey, I heard you like the new Star Trek. Yeah, it's Mark Secret calling JP. Good old Mark. Talented writer. He's written. He wrote a great episode of TNG. First Contact was the name of the episode. It's the one where Riker is undercover. He goes to that alien planet undercover. Something happens and he ends up in the hospital, and they find out that he's not whatever race they are. And then that one alien who used to be on Cheers as Frasier's girlfriend or wife, she wants to do him because she always had a thing. She always wanted to do an alien, so she's trying to do Riker. You know how Riker is, you guys. Everybody's trying to do Riker every episode. Poor guy. My headcanon for the whole fish warp thing is to have a species secretly sabotaging species achieving warp 10 and manipulating their DNA to keep their warp 10 advantage in the Delta Quadrant. You guys that don't know what quads are, gotta work out your quads. Thoughts, you guys? Is there a warp 10 in the Delta Quadrant? They can get to the Alpha Quadrant pretty quick if they do. I bet you Voyager wish they had warp 10. Yeah, and actually, my mom and my wife Jessica, they love each other. They hardly seen each other, but they love each other. So I know they're going to be great friends when my mom comes out. It's already Jessica's job to unpack the kitchen for her. Orville Nation, thank you so much. So glad you are not a Wesley. This is to buy your mom Starbucks, man. Thank you. She loves coffee. I won't be able to get her a Starbucks. I'm going to take her over to McDonald's, get her a couple of coffees for a couple of days because she prefers McDonald's coffee over Starbucks coffee. But hey, nowadays I do too. McDonald's coffee is actually better than Starbucks coffee. I have to say, I'll fight you about it. That's how much I believe in McDonald's coffee. Lilith from Frasier. That's exactly it. I am on a Frasier marathon as we speak. Well, there's a new Frasier coming out on, I don't know, Peacock, one of those things. Hopefully it's good. I mean, I don't really care if it's good or not. I'm sure there's going to be some people that like it, and I'm sure it'll be decent because it was just a live in front of a studio audience show. It's not hard to write a funny version of that, but I bet you, I know nothing about the new Frasier. I enjoyed the old Frasier. I bet you it's Frasier trying to get into podcasting because that's a perfect update for that character's line of work, right? Anybody remember Star Flight? The race of religious fish? Just don't get them near the dolphins. Dolphins are going to want those religious fish. Mom time is golden. Yes, it is. Thank you, Matt. I know you appreciate mom time. Sushi Knitter, JP just made a dad joke. Yeah, I'm getting old. So I loved dad jokes before there was such a thing as dad jokes. They were just called puns back in my day. Yeah, glad they get along so well. They do. I mean, everyone gets along with Jessica. She's the best. It has to be the parasite aliens. I can feel that. I feel that. I'm feeling you, Treybone. It'd be kind of cool to get an update from that conspiracy episode. But didn't we just learn how to blow them up out of people's necks? Why don't we just blow them up out of people's necks? Beverly could put their necks back together if she gets all the pieces right. BB Neworth. How do I never know her name? Thanks, Sherry and Michael. How did I not ever know her name? She's such a big memory for me. Yes, Frasier reboot. It'll be a revival. Everything's a revival right now. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm actually enjoying the Night Court revival. It's a great thing to watch if you watch it once a week. Just a nice 20-minute block out of your week. I don't think I could binge it, but I wouldn't be able to binge the Night Court we all love and adored from decades ago. And I love that show. I watched it all the time, and the reruns, back when they had reruns. I enjoyed what's the other revival? That 90s show, which is, of course, that originally that 70s show. That was a fun reboot. That one, I'm sure, has canned laughter, which I'm not that big of a fan of. I know Night Court is filmed in front of a live studio audience. I watched a whole documentary or a little video featurette about that, which is cool. I prefer that the laughter is real. But it was still fun. But that 70s show, I'm older now, so I really only cared about Red and Kitty. The kids all did a great job, but I didn't care about any of their stories. I wanted to know what was going on with Red and Kitty the entire time. And Red and Kitty have something going on every single episode, but just for a little, C story, or not even really a B story. Usually it's a C story. Medallion, yes, she was the inmate who wanted to have sex with an alien, aka Riker. Inmate. That makes me think of the episode where Riker went crazy, thinking he was inside of Beverly's play, when really that's a different one where he was, or was it the same? No, that ended up being a whole delusion. That was a delusion made by that little magic kid, wasn't it? Isn't there two Rikers? There's actually three Rikers trapped on a planet episode that I can think of. The one where he's accused of murder, great episode. The insanity one, and the one where he's stuck in that hospital. There's probably 8 more just like it. I don't remember. Yeah, the new Night Court for me is hit and miss, says Sushi Nader. Yeah, I get it, because Dan, John Larroquette, sells the whole thing to me, because he's still Dan. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's like I watched an episode, I enjoyed it, but then I don't ever think about it again. What's up, Deus Death? Greetings from Brazil. Ooh, Brazil. Beautiful land of Brazil. Oh, I think my mom's calling again. Should I pick up? I'll have to turn off the microphone if I do. I'm going to pick up, because she might have sold the house. Hello? You guys, My mom's gonna be my neighbor. Well, she's gonna live 15 minutes away. But my mom got the house, you guys. She got it. I'm gonna have family again. I mean, I've been playing the whole boo-hoo, I'm so lonely without my family card for over a decade now, but I can't do it anymore. My mom's gonna be here. I'm so excited. I'm gonna party. I'm gonna party hardy. Archmage, the Magic Kid episode was Future Imperfect. The Insanity episode is Frame of Mind. Yes, Frame of Mind, that title, I hardcore remember that one. Future Imperfect, I don't remember that title, but I remember the episode. Everyone says, talk to your mom. So I got the info, well, the quick comment that she got the house. She sounds super excited, and I'll call her as soon as we're done here. I'm so excited, you guys. Oh, it's been years. Pranakasha Productions, thank you so much. Hooray! Hooray for you! Hooray! Thank you so much. You guys, I'm gonna have to do a video. I'm gonna have to bring my mom in here and have her be Mama JP, and I'll have a fake beard for her and some glasses, and she can wear another hat that I have, and she could be Mama JP. Yay for JP's mom. Thank you so much. Yay for family again. Yes, and as I've gotten older, the more I've realized yay for family. It's like Joel said in the episode before last of The Last of Us, you go for family. You go for family. So I've been missing my family. As I got older, I appreciate my family more, even though I don't ever see them. And yeah, I'm pretty excited, you guys. Mama JP, yes. Angry Nerd Mom. She'll probably give it a shot. She'll, JP, you dummy. You dunce. She wouldn't be able to call me the other thing. She thinks she'd be able to, and then she tries and she won't be able to. Clud. Greetings from the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Join us for a show soon. Nearly at 120K subs. Oh my gosh, Sci-Fi Podcast, you guys. Why is your name got a cool gray box around it? I've never seen that before. I want to know. I want to know. Mithra na Ruodo. I'm sure I messed that up. Sorry. Old school Egotastic FunTime stream. Egotastic FunTime. We're gonna have a great time. She can bring you snacks and tell you to go outside more. Jessica already does that. Actually, I do it first. I say, I need to go outside more, and then I don't have to hear other people say it. Angry Nerd Thing Mom. Orville Nation, thank you so much. Yay! Monotastic streams. Monotastic streams indeed, my friends.
Hooray!
Jeffrey Scott, if she's anything like my mom, she's ready to be the de facto IT guy, LOL. I almost had to do some IT stuff for her. The realtor texted me yesterday, he goes, I just sent your mom some stuff to e-sign, and it's not working. Can you call her and try to figure it out? And I call her, she goes, oh, I figured it out. I knew she would. She always figures out that stuff. I'm registered. Tick. Hence the gray. Yeah, I've never seen the gray. I'll have to look into that. Medallion, you're not pale. You're okay. Well, I do mess with the colors on this stream. I turn up the blush a little bit, give my skin some color. Egotastic car, mom, backseat driver time. My mom's funny. Like when when she used to drive me around when I was younger, a lot of moms do this. She stopped too soon, she puts her arm out. She always, even when I'm driving now and I have to stop a little soon, she'll put her arm out from the passenger side to stop me from going through the window, I guess. She's mom through and through. Saturation maximum. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that gray thing. I wanna know more about that. I like to learn anything YouTube. I always go through at least once a day and learn something new about the ins and outs of YouTube. And I'm not talking about the YouTube guru videos. I'm years past that. I'm talking about the ins and outs, the workings, the algorithms, the new features. It's always important to stay up with the new features. So she stops short. She used to. I remember one year, she had a bunch of accidents, and it wasn't her fault on any of them. She'd be sitting at a red light, and someone would back in or would hit her from the back, or stuff like that. And none of them were her fault. It was just her sitting there waiting for a light to change, and somebody would hit her or sideswipe or whatever. I remember for a couple years after that, she was so jumpy while in a car. She's always afraid someone's gonna back into her or hit her from the back. Which I'm like, that's great. I would love it if someone hit me from the back, because then I get a new car for free, because the insurance. I don't want to hit anybody, but if someone hits me, I'm totally fine with it. Front Productions. Coaclud has got a gray cloud and a check. Check, chickadee check. I need to figure out how to register. I wonder if I qualify. I might have to probably get like 100K subs. I've been getting a lot of subs lately though, because I'm doing the shorts. Let me tell you guys, if you have a YouTube channel, do the shorts. Make the shorts. I make like 3 or 4 a day for the last month or so, and I'm getting like over a million views per 2 weeks, so like 500K views per week. And they're monetized now, because YouTube started monetizing shorts just a couple weeks ago, and they actually do make a little bit of money. So I've been doing that but I'm not doing it for any money, because it's not that much. I'm doing it for exposure. Anytime someone sees your short, and they will, because YouTube is pushing shorts, anytime they see your short, when they go to their home screen, your long form stuff and your shorts will pop up on their home screen. So it's a great way to get more people to notice your channel. Registration leads to confiscation. Confiscation. I don't even know what any of that means. Well, I know what the words mean. I don't know what the words mean together. A funny episode of Seinfeld about stopping short. Oh, I'm sure I've seen that episode. I just don't remember it right now. So if I went over to Netflix and started watching Seinfeld, it would eventually come up and I'd remember it. Curtis Tate says, I just watched episode 1 of Picard, thought it was good. It's the first of the newer Star Trek that feels like Star Trek. And, there's good and bad with the newer Star Trek. Not a big fan of Discovery, even though I'm always rooting for it. I did enjoy season 3, but not enough where I wanted to watch season 4. So I haven't seen season 4. Strange New Worlds. People seem to really like that. I enjoy Strange New Worlds, but it still doesn't feel like Star Trek, like OG Star Trek to me, even though I enjoy it. Lower Decks, I very much enjoy, but that just feels like an animated fan series to me. Love it, but it doesn't feel like Star Trek to me, even though it makes lots of great Star Trek references that I'm having fun with. To me, it's almost like a Star Trek comic, Sunday morning comic. And then is that all they got right now? And then, of course, Picard. I've enjoyed Picard all the way through, but not like I'm enjoying this new season. And it's only had 1 episode. I feel this is the first time I'm seeing what should have been when they decided to bring back Star Trek. Yeah, I love Strange New Worlds, but also I'm like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not getting the old school Star Trek vibes, which really I never should have even expected to get. This is decades later. They got to make things new. It's got to be updated. It's got to be hold up a mirror to the current society, like all Star Trek has always done. But now I'm getting OG vibes, and I didn't expect that, and it feels good. It feels real good, you guys. It was the Ass Man episode. Currently looking for a way to mute those shorts. Not a fan, sorry. Oh, I don't publish them to subscription feeds. Are you getting notifications of the shorts? Because you're not supposed to. Basically, nobody that follows my channel should even know they exist unless they go over to my short shelf or they just happen to pop up on your short shelf. But if you're on your short shelf, you're looking for shorts. JP, were you on Titanic, the movie? No, I was never in the movie, but one of the characters on the movie was based on me from when I was a passenger on the original Titanic. But I never saw the movie Titanic, so don't spoil the end for me. I don't know what happened. Pranakacha Productions gifted 5 Egotastic FunTime memberships to 5 random subscribers. Right now, that's what YouTube does. That's a brand new feature that YouTube has, where you guys can gift subs or gift memberships for 1 month to however many random people you want to do it to. Maybe do it to. Maybe someday they'll make it where you can specifically choose people. But it's kind of fun to see who randomly wins the membership drawing, right? Basically is what it is. Curtis Tate, prequels made decades later are inherently problematic. Yeah, I'm usually not a fan. I mean, Enterprise is technically a prequel, but not really because it's a whole new crew, whole new era. But like, say for instance, and I thought about this before I started streaming, this is the last TNG. This season of Picard is it. There's not going to be any more TNG stuff after this. So we hear. And then I was like, well, what if they did a prequel? And I'm like, oh, that would be absolutely horrible if they did a prequel of TNG. Even if it was perfect, it just couldn't be perfect because it's not the same people. It's going to be different. It's just not going to work. But yeah, inherently, prequels are not usually welcome by me. I mean, it has to be some special angle they're coming at it from. But it's very hard to come up with a special angle that like that. Sushinator, I mean shorts in general, not yours. I would even exclude yours if I can mute them. Oh, I agree. I guess I agree. I like making the shorts that I make because they're all, I take funny clips from shows and movies that we like, and I re-edit them shorter to you get the setup and the punchline of whatever the scene is. But just regular shorts, people, I don't know, making macaroni and cheese or whatever the hell people do with these TikTok style videos. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that stuff unless it's like a puppy dog or a kitten or something like that. Then I could probably watch it. Maybe even watch it twice. But yeah, all this stuff of everybody trying to get famous with some dumb video. I'm not that big of a fan of it. But for YouTube, and not even the other all social media sites that use that feature now, for YouTube, it's a great tool for getting attention to your main channel. So I highly recommend it. Just try to come up with something entertaining or informative. Make it short. Pro tip, make it between 17 and 25 seconds long, because apparently the algorithm right now is programmed to push 17-second to 25-second videos more than the other shorts that they're pushing, and they're really pushing because, you know, the 17 to 25-second thing gets it so that you actually get decent watch time, and it gives people enough time to it gives them more time to be on YouTube, which is all the website cares about, which makes sense. And they're trained to do that, so, or programmed to do that. So if you're doing it, try to make them that long. I still make some that are a little bit shorter, not really much longer. I try to never go over 30 seconds. Sometimes you have to if you want to get the joke across. But give it a shot if you're doing the YouTube thing, you guys. Just as a promotional tool. It's the only promotional tool I've ever used that actually works. And it's actually kind of fun and very easy to do. Broadcasting icebergs get a bad rap generally. Broadcasting, oh, icebergs straight ahead. Oh, but to go back to the Titanic question, yeah, I was being facetious. I've seen Titanic a million times. And every time I see it, as much as I really liked Titanic when I was younger, the more I see it, the more I hate that old lady. I think she's just a horrible actress. even though she looks sweet, and I'm sure she's left us by now. Every time I hear her voice, it's just so not movie quality voice. Prequels, sequels, but never equals. It's hard for a sequel to beat a pre. Well, no, it's hard for a sequel to beat the original, except for Terminator 2. Terminator 2 wiped the floor with Terminator. And then all the other Terminator movies is great if you're just a big fan of that universe, but none of them are going to beat Terminator 2. Yeah, prequels, sequels, but never equals. The equal was the first one. It equals itself. Yellowstone has 2 prequel shows going on. Yeah, there's 1883, 1923, or whatever the years were. I've never seen Yellowstone or any of the prequels, but I know people love them, and I'm a big Western fan. But I just never got. I don't like Yellowstone is modern day. I do not like modern day Western ranch type stuff. The prequels, 1883, I'd probably enjoy much more. Money is a good thing, even in the 25th century. Apparently, Raffi needed some money. Yeah, Medallion said it right there. Raffi was asking for more money. Of course, she's not in a Federation situation. She's in a place where they take money. Like Ferengi. We didn't see any Ferengi, but they take money. Now, that's another question. What are we going to see? What aliens are we going to see? I enjoyed what new Star Trek has done with the Romulans. I like how they have the northern and the southern hemisphere Romulans for Picard, and they're both the Romulans from. We got the regular TNG Romulans, and then you got the slightly more normal Romulans, like from TOS. Worf is going to be a normal Klingon. Are there going to be other Klingons showing up this season, and what will they look like? Do we have a variety of Klingons to look at? I enjoyed what new Star Trek has done with Orions, and I've hated what they've done with Andorians. Not hated, I don't hate anything, but not satisfied with what they have done with Andorians. The best Andorians ever created, in my opinion, is the Enterprise Andorians. You got Shran. Shran's the best Andorian ever, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion. They were on Free Cloud, 1883 and 1923. Yeah, I think they were on Free Cloud, just a different area of Free Cloud. A Free Cloud, that was last season, wasn't it, where they went to Free Cloud and they had Quark's casino or something like that. We didn't see Quark. I don't know, have we seen Ferengi in new Star Trek at all? And if we see it in Picard, this new Picard season, what are they going to look like? I'm guessing they'll probably look pretty damn normal, or whatever we think Ferengi are supposed to look like. Bring back the crew from the Just Kidding Abrams movies. Now, the Abrams movies I enjoy. I don't think of them as Star Trek. I think of them, the JJ movies, I kind of think of them, when they did that movie remake of Lost in Space. That's how I think of the JJ movies. The fact that they put it in a different universe made me forgive whatever they wanted to do. Though I did not really enjoy Into Darkness. I've said that many times before. But I could give the JJ movies a pass because it's a different universe. If they didn't say it was a different universe, I'd be like, what the heck is going on here? A lot of people said that anyway. But I give them a pass. They knew enough to stay away from Legacy Universe. Sushinator talking to John Smith, who is willing to pay for Chris Pine? Chris Pine's been big, right? But it does seem like the movies that he keeps getting put into the last couple of years are a little bit less and less prestigious each time. I love the dude, though. I love Chris Pine, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I loved his father way back in the day when I used to watch Chips. His father was the not the commissioner, the main cop dude in Chips, the I don't know, commander, maybe it's commander. Quark was in Lower Decks, yeah. But of course you can't go by looks with Lower Decks, though I'm sure Quark looked like Quark cartoon wise. But I'm sure Terry Metalis with Picard is going to want things to be legit. He's going to want the aliens that he's familiar with to look like the last time we saw them in OG Star Trek. Yeah, the JJ movies are kind of like fan fiction. I kind of felt that way right off the bat, and so I gave them a pass the whole time. But it's not a universe where I'm like, ooh, since they have this, I wonder what this means for this area of space or these people. You know, the weird stuff we've always thought about with, you know, OG Star Trek. Never thought about that with the JJ stuff. I'm like, they're kind of just one and done movies, right? Chris Pine was the main reason Star Trek 4 did not happen, as far as I remember. I think it was Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth. They wanted more money because they weren't really making, you know, they weren't getting the proper raises that you're supposed to get for doing all these sequels. And Paramount or whoever's in charge didn't want to pay. And the movies were already not making a lot of money, but they cost a lot of money. So I'm sure they were trying to be really cheap on it. But I don't think that was worth it to the actors. So I think kind of all the actors were like, pay us more or we're not doing it. But I think the people who headlined that were the Chris's. Chris Pine's dad was Eric Estrada. No, nor was he, was it John Blondehair, whatever his name is. It was their boss, the commissioner or the commander, whoever's in charge of the ticket givers in Southern California. His dad was also, he's been in everything that Michael Schur makes. So he's in The Office. I think he played Jim's dad, maybe. He was in Parks and Recreation. He was in, oh gosh, I can't remember, at least 2 or 3 other things. Michael Dorn was also in Chips. Yeah, back in the TV days, you know, Brent Spiner was in a lot of shows. Michael Dorn was in a lot of shows. Patrick Stewart was in nothing. He was over in British land, doing Britishy things with the Royal Shakespeare Theatre? Him and Ian McKellen. Robert Pine is Chris Pine's father. Boom, that sounds right to me. Robert Pine. And you can tell, if you could do side-by-side pictures, you can tell they are father and son. They got the same eyebrows. Yeah, Chris wanted more latinum. Gold press latinum. Donnie Pierce, in my opinion, on the exterior design of the Titan A was changed. It was decent enough for me to be honest, yet the interior was spot on. I loved the guest quarters. The guest quarters, I did not expect. I expected, it kind of felt like they were going to get, you know, a pretty awesome reception. And that's when I totally knew. I'm like, oh, this Captain Shaw, he has something specifically against Picard and Riker, or at least Picard. I have eyebrow envy, I admit it. Yeah, I got big old eyebrows too. Not quite as big as the Pines. They have pines on their eyes. Pine lids. Patrick Stewart was in the Dune movies and Galactica 1980 in a guest star spot. I know he's in Dune, and I remember the scenes of him in Dune. Galactica 1980 I did not know about. I'm going to have to go look into that one. Yeah, that captain of the Titan was a real a-hole. He's supposed to come off as one, but apparently he does have a story arc. He apparently has a reason for acting that way. But 7 of 9 said lower your expectations. So it must be something else going on with his attitude as well when it comes to just being a captain. Has nothing to do with Picard and Riker. Yeah, that actor, gosh, what's his name? I got it right here. He just tweeted me this morning. Let's see what we got. Oh, let me go to verified area. The verified area. Todd Stashwick is his name. And yes, I liked him right away too. I wasn't sure. From the trailer, I wasn't sure. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like that dude. And then he was even more, I didn't know he was going to be an a-hole when I watched the episode, but he's an a-hole, but I liked him. When he wasn't an a-hole in the trailer, I'm like, I don't know about that guy. But when he's an a-hole, I was like, I like that guy. And then he told me that, yeah, there's a reason he acts that way. So I can't wait to see what that reason is. Of course, he's not going to give it away. And now I'm stuck looking at social media. All right, we're going back. We're going back to the live stream. The Galactica 1980 episodes were a two-parter that had Wolfman Jack guest starring. Oh, I remember Wolfman Jack. Woo! Wolfman Jack. I remember him. He was even worse than Now, I can't remember. Is it Jellico or Jellico? And I don't know how you'll tell me. You have to spell it in a certain way, I guess. Yeah, he was an a-hole, but also a good captain. Yeah, he was a little harsh. He gave no. Now, wasn't he the one? Was it him that wanted Riker to do a cover up with that one ship they all used to that they were served together on, and there was some sort of evidence on the ship, and he wanted Riker to help cover it up, and that's the episode that Riker was going through when he cameoed on the series finale of Enterprise, the one where Trip got dipped by a bomb in the face. Jellico. 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 Like Jericho. That was probably the what they were going for. I want to sound like Jericho, but not be that. But now they got Chris Jericho. They could have done it. Jericho works. Well, is that Admiral Pressman? Okay, I'm trying to get that guy's. Yes. Okay, I think I got that guy's face in my head right now. Hopefully no one takes that comment out of context. Yes, he was the captain who made Troy wear a uniform. Yep, it's all coming back to me now. A lot of white-haired white dudes, when it's from years ago, they all look the same to me. But if you see a picture, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I remember. Captain Pressman. So that's the one where it's trying to do a cover-up, and Riker's like, oh God, what do I do? Who do I have? Who am I loyal to? I need to go see Trip's face get ripped off by a bomb to figure this one out. Yeah, like Jello. Bob. Jello pudding. The actor who played Pressman was in Lost and Hawaii Five-0. Boom, I know exactly what you're talking about. Wait a minute, Lost. Do I remember? It must be a side guy from Hawaii Five-0. Oh, they put him in Lower Decks? That's awesome. I never saw season 3 of Lower Decks, and it's on my list. Captain Frasier was better anyways. Now, wasn't Captain Frasier the one where they kept crashing into him and they had to keep doing that loop to avoid crashing into him? Was that the episode where the number 3 kept getting embedded in everything? Because if so, that episode was referenced in the first episode of Picard season 3. Lost. I remember that show. Oh, Lost. I love Lost. Lost went totally off the rails. They weren't supposed to have that many seasons, but the audience loved them, and ABC loves money. Money is awesome. So they kept putting out more shows. Bozeman. That's it. What was that episode called? It was a loop episode. Oh, I can't remember. And I know cause and effect. Boom. Okay, I knew that. The USS Fraser. He played McGarrett's old SEAL Team CO in Hawaii Five-0. Dun, 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 dun. Lost fan forever. Yeah, I love Lost. I even like their horrible finale. I liked it. I didn't care. I didn't care if it makes sense. It made sense to me. I made it make sense. And it kind of had time, not time travel stuff, but time displacement stuff. Because they all ended in that finale. They all, well, the whole last season when they're in the alt timeline, they all were playing different characters there. And they didn't know each other. But then they find out that they do know each other, even though they're all different characters, probably different names and stuff. And they all didn't start at the same time. They all lived their lives and died at different times in their lives, but they were all brought there after their death to the same point of time, fake time, heaven time. A lot of people didn't get that. I understood that right away, so I wasn't confused in the slightest. But I can understand where people would get confused with that, because that's weird. Speaking of Lost, how did that navigation wheel thing work? I don't remember, but it had the choo, 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 choo. If they just put a can of paint on that and poked a hole in the bottom of it, it'd make a cool drawing. And they never even thought of doing that. Finale of Lost was fine. Nothing wrong there. I was fine with it because I understood it, but a lot of people, they just do not get that type of time displacement stuff, and I totally understand that. And I totally understand it. I binge Lost a few years after it ended, so I didn't have to deal with waiting a week for the next season. I think I binged the first couple of seasons with my ex at the time. That's back when you would get DVDs from Netflix. They'd send it to you in the mail, so we binged all that were available, which were just a couple seasons. And then we caught up with the weekly episodic premieres of the different seasons. So we eventually caught up, and then we had to wait a week between each episode, and we were both so pissed about it, but we couldn't stop watching. It was crazy. Mind Surfer, how's it going? It took me some time after the finale, but over time I understood everything and loved how they ended it. I liked it too. I was one of the people that understood it. I had to explain it to a lot of people, and I just got tired of explaining it, so I just stopped talking about it. But yeah, I loved it. Though I know it's weird. It was weird. There was a lot of storylines that were weird. But remember when they met the others, which was what, season 2 or 3? That was so good. I hear that they will be bringing back the TV series Dark Matter. Here we go with the Dark Matter. Maybe. There's so many things I hear about coming back, but they never do. Firefly. Every month there's a new rumor that Firefly's coming back. And it's been going on for like 10 years now. I've been seeing that rumor. Crankshaft rocks. Crankshaft reunion tour now. Mindsurfer. I was in the Lost fan forums for talking about the mysteries between the episodes. That was fun. Lost conversations were fun. What's going to happen next week? That was a great show for that. I love that. That was back in the days where I had all my buddies, and we would go drink coffee all the time, and we'd all watch the same stuff, sometimes together, sometimes separately. But we always get together and just talk about what's going on, what's going to happen, and everyone makes their predictions and tears it apart and figures out all the angles. So much fun. Some of my favorite times from my youth was doing that. That was back in the days where me and my friends would go see a movie in the theater, a new movie, and then after the movie we'd just stand outside the theater for hours talking about the movie that we just saw. We wouldn't even go anywhere. We'd just stand out by the box office. Yeah, Mindsurfer, my buddy He actually created the Lost website. You know, ABC needed someone to create their website for Lost. He actually created it, and I remember he sent it to me so I can look at it and check it out. I was already a fan of the show, so but yeah, I navigated around it, make sure it all worked. Said, yeah, it looks good. Oh my God, they're making another Riddick movie? Or are you just talking about uh, quadruple Fast and Furious? Another Fast and Furious movie. I've never seen a single Fast and Furious movie. I wasn't interested in it when there were just a bunch of street racers. Now, definitely wasn't in it now that they're all superhero, John McClane spies working for whatever superhero government they're working for. I understand people like them. That's fine. It's a whole genre that has fans. I just never been a fan of that, and I started having such a great time not watching any of the movies that I just continued that trend. It's one of my favorite things about myself is I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie. Treybone, Miss Old School Sci-Fi that actually told intriguing stories like Stargate, Earth Final Conflict, Farscape, etc., etc. Would love for sci-fi shows to actually do intriguing storylines. Oh, Treybone, do I have a surprise for you? You watch Star Trek Picard Season 3? You got all of that. They finally have what everyone's been wanting and what everyone's been complaining about. This solves it all. So we're going to see what happens now that people have gotten what they want and more. Are they going to continue the criticism, or are they going to say, oh hey, this actually, I do like this, let's support it, let's not support the stuff we don't like, and let's support the things that we do like, and that way we'll get more of the things we like when we support the things that we like. Or has the power of clicks gotten to some of these people and they're going to criticize it anyway, no matter what? Someone tried to criticize it with the silliest thing earlier today on my social media. They're saying, "Oh, the music at the end, that was just TNG and First Contact and whatever, nothing new or anything like that." I'm like, seriously? They're basically coming out with a 10-hour TNG movie, and you don't want them to use the TNG music? If this was a movie in the theater, you would complain if they don't use the TNG music. And I was like, you're just outing yourself as toxic. So I expect there to be some things like that out there because some people can't help it. But you're going to see a lot of praising from previous haters about this show. JP, did you see the first 6? Were you invited? I was not invited. I am not on the radar of Paramount or Star Trek at all because I hardly cover it. I kind of almost boycotted making videos about Star Trek a couple years ago because of all the toxicity in the fandom. But I'm like, you know what? I see a lot of the fandom turning around for this series, so maybe I will change that to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm not on their radar. But I've been chatting. I've been making myself known. So we'll see. I don't know if that'll get me any episodes because I don't know if they're doing that anymore now that they've started to air them. But maybe it'll get me an in. Maybe it'll get me an interview. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. They're going to have to dig a little deeper and see some of my previous work before they trust me, I'm sure. The MCU hate machine has gotten worse with Ant-Man coming tomorrow. Yeah, and of course they haven't even seen it yet. It's just a hate machine. Here's the thing, and I'm planning on doing a video about this. I've been gathering my thoughts on it and doing research. It's not really an MCU hate machine. It's the anything I've heard of before I was the age 25 hate machine. And this goes into biology, something we all have, that we all are born with, but I won't get into that, but it's biology. And anything that Hollywood puts out that is 20 years later of something else, there's always going to be a huge hate machine movement towards that thing, whether it's good or not, because it'll never be as good as it was when we were 25 or younger, and that has to do with biology, like I said. Putting my thoughts together on it, but you'll see there's not a huge hate machine on any new properties, unless somebody that owns the property said something stupid on Twitter one day, and everyone's like, "Oh God, I'm going to boycott. This is where I draw the line. This far, no further." But usually new stuff people aren't hating on. It's if that new thing that comes out is basically a reboot or a reimagining or a revival from a couple decades ago, it's going to have a hate machine. Every single thing. Battlestar Galactica being the sole exception. Yeah, because Battlestar Galactica. Well, I do remember when Battlestar Galactica, the new one, not new anymore. That's 20 years old at this point. But when that came out, there was the beginnings of the hate machine. I remember it, but it cleared up pretty fast because people fell in love with that show because it was so crazy and it was new at the time. That revival thing done of quality and on television, there wasn't a lot of it. Now there's a lot of it. But yeah, that series spoke for itself. And also Battlestar Galactica, as many of us nerds remember it very well, it wasn't that huge of a show. I mean, it did really well, but I mean, it was sci-fi from the 70s and early 80s. But it's the exception to the rule, I think. But I remember there was people trying to hate on it, and they're like, "Oh, damn, that was kind of cool. Cylons look kind of cool, way cooler than the original." And so everybody came aboard. It also had a sexy lady. If the show has a sexy lady and sexy robots, people are usually a little bit nicer to it. Yeah, a BSG reboot was a thing of beauty. It might be one of the few things that are remembered that way. Except for Picard season 3, I think it's going to go down in history. But my thing is, and I'm not worried because I don't even need more Star Trek ever. I got all that classic, good, juicy stuff, man. I can just watch that for the rest of my life and never have anything new. We were never supposed to have a new Star Trek. I was going somewhere. Oh, but what are they going to do? The company, Star Trek Incorporated, what are they going to do after Picard? Picard's doing well, but there's not going to be any more Picard. Discovery is, I think, more expensive than it's worth. Strange New Worlds is great. I think they're going to go do well with that. And Lower Decks can just keep going on and on and on because it's funny, it's got audience, and it's cheap to make and easy to make. You can have people do all their voiceovers in their closets at home. You're still going to be able to make the thing. But what show? Because I think we got to be getting rid of Discovery soon. It's done a lot of seasons. Picard's gone. Middle finger. Strange New Worlds. You got Strange New Worlds, but I'm sure they want a couple of these shows, right? Live action shows, right? So that means they have to come up with something new. But what are they going to do? Are they going to come up with something truly new that takes place right where Picard leaves off, universe timeline-wise? New crew, new whatever. Maybe that a-hole captain, maybe he gets his own show if we end up liking him. They got to have some more live action Star Trek. The other stuff, they got a few things winding down. Has there been any announcements of any other shows? I know when they first started in 2017, they're like, "Oh, we got all these shows we're going to do. We're going to do a Section 31 show. We're going to do a Starfleet Academy show. This and that." None of that nothing ever came of any of that. But they need to keep this IP going for subscriptions. What are they going to do? They're going to have to create something and announce it. And hopefully, I'm hoping that a new Star Trek show is created under Terry, who's the showrunner for Picard Season 3. Because I'm sure if he wasn't a big wig last week, he is now a big wig this week going forward. Because this show is going to make them some money. So what if they give him another Star Trek show to completely create? Is he even going to be interested? That's some news that I'm looking forward to finding out about. A Titan show? Boom. Yeah, Lower Decks and Prodigy. People like both of those shows. But that's just animated. That's not the live action Star Trek. They have to have some live action Star Trek. But also, they don't need Star Trek as much as they did. Because now they got all these other shows. They got all the Yellowstone stuff. They got Big Brother. I don't know. They got Tulsa King, which is actually another Yellowstone show. Same makers of that. And I heard they're coming out with another show from that person, from that team. But they got all kinds of stuff on there that people watch that don't even watch Star Trek at all, and they subscribe. So they're going to have to play up to those people as well, right? So are they even going to do any more Star Trek after Strange New Worlds finishes its run? Because I'm sure Strange New Worlds will get a handful of seasons, I'm sure. We only have done one so far. They are planning a Seven and Raffi show. How would that work? It definitely would have to be on the La Sirena, I would think. But I think I'd be more interested in a new show, new ship, new crew, with a whole new thing going on, than I would reviving any of these previous characters. They haven't really touched DS9 that much. Maybe they'll do a DS9 show. Gosh. But if Avery's not going to do it, I'm sure Nana Visitor would do it. Ethan Phillips would do it. We don't have Odo anymore. We don't. Sirach would probably do it. But without Avery, I don't know if you can get that going. I think all those characters can only work as cameo or side characters. Section 31 shorts. I think they should go back to doing some of these shorts but with new ideas, only to test them out. Do some shorts, some new idea shorts, come up with a whole new thing, new crew, new story, new whatever, and to put some shorts out of these various ideas. Whichever one catches on, that's the one that you do a show about. Though I would very much, going back to the revival idea, very much be up for an Enterprise series. Go back to Enterprise, make it where their finale was on the holodeck, so technically it wasn't real. The holodeck just told Riker a story that he needed to hear for his situation. The holodeck made it up, and let's continue on with them. Trip being alive, of course. I'm not going to watch it if Trip's not in it. Well, if they get Jolene Blaylock, maybe. But I got to have Trip. Raffi has the La Sirena. But I want a crew. I want a true adventure Star Trek series. Like they're trying to do, like what they're doing with Strange New Worlds. But let's get it in. Let's continue the canon and not try to go back and revisit previous timelines and stuff like that. Jeffrey Scott, I'd like to see Dominion War shorts showing the war from all different perspectives. You know, a friend of mine once told me that they would really like, they'll never do it because it's too expensive. I totally understand why they wouldn't do it, but a Star Trek anthology series, kind of like the Twilight Zone, a different story every episode. But do that with Star Trek, but have it be a different Starfleet or Star Trek universe episodes every week. Couldn't do that because it's way too expensive to build new sets every single week. But man, that sounds great. Me No Other says, like the DS9 documentary, the showrunner did on YouTube with some animated shorts, like the Animatrix, the Star Trek Matrix. Expand on the DS9 documentary. Instead of going backwards, move Trek forward. Yes. Just saying 33rd Century series would work better as the canon is all screwed up. Yeah, the best thing Discovery did, even though it didn't really though I enjoyed season 3 enough, was getting the hell out of the timeline. They went 1,000 years in the future. Nothing they can mess up. That was the smartest thing they ever did. I was so glad to see them go. I'm like, you get out of my timeline. What are you doing? You go get your own timeline. So they did. The subspace zone. I would go for the Enterprise show. Gone Before Its Time can be fixed. Actually, I'd even be fine if they just did Enterprise shorts. Maybe do or a limited series, 3 episodes, 3 full episodes with one 3-episode story arc. But yeah, shorts. Give me Archer's first day after he starts the Federation, or a month after, or a year after. Animated Clone Wars Dominion show shorts would be cheaper. Anything animated would be cheaper, that's for sure. Short Treks kind of did the anthology thing. Yeah, but they did it within Discovery. And they did, they even did a Pike short, but even that was still within the Discovery world. The Discovery universe, which I do consider to be its own separate universe. It's just too different to be able to be considered part of a regular Star Trek universe. But yeah, if they did some more of those, just maybe do some Picard shorts. Something. There was just too many Discovery shorts. Though I really liked the one where the guy was stuck 1,000 years in the future on, well, the ship AI kind of became sentient. That was an interesting story, but it was on the Discovery ship. I want something that's a little bit more like the Picard Series 3. It's a little bit more a believable progression, the way it looks. Max says, is this some kind of time loop? Hell yeah, it is. I want to do a show called Time Loop. It lost the connection to our now. Now is all that exists. They could go back and make animated series, but look like live action and with voice act, but look like live action and with voice actors, like the actual actors. That'd be good. I know that they're doing that. James Gunn is doing that with DC. DC, you know, everything's going to be connected. They're going to do TV, movies, and even animated stuff, but the same actors will be playing whatever characters across all formats. That's going to be interesting to see. Time Loop. Great cooking show idea. Oh, man. You go, bam, we got some time. Time. That song. Time. Can't remember the rest of it. Unreal Engine and real CGI humans can bring anyone back. I'm down for it. I'm down to check it out. But yeah, I like the idea of the shorts. I just would like them to focus on different aspects of Star Trek for those shorts. What about a short that is just Picard playing that private detective? That'd be fun. Or you could have anyone play that detective, really. Picard is just playing a character in the holodeck. Other people, I'm sure, use that program as well and play the character as well. It doesn't have to be Picard playing the character. I usually save my time in a bottle. Time in a bottle. Treybone says, and I got to go after this one, you guys, because I got to call my mom. Talk about this house. At Egotastic FunTime by Treybone says, a Starfleet or Federation courtroom drama would be perfect for Trek, or a show about the tough decisions that admirals have to make. What are your thoughts on that? Sign me up. Some of the best episodes of Star Trek are courtroom dramas. The Measure of a Man is one of the best Star Trek episodes ever written, ever made, ever filmed, ever edited, ever promoted and put on television. The Measure of a Man. I always loved the courtroom stuff that Star Trek does. Q puts all of humanity on trial. Um, I'm such a fan of that. I would absolutely watch that. You don't have to spend a ton of money on sets. Maybe some Star Trek stuff that doesn't take place in space. Some shorts, like the courtroom drama stuff. Or maybe some adventure going on a planet somewhere. Something that you don't have to build a ship every single week would be great. Go for it. Drumhead. Oh, that's such a good one. The Drumhead. What's that one? Are you going to judge a man by... I can't remember the line. It's such a good line. But, you know, it's his heritage, the blood in his veins, something like that. The measure of a person. The measure of an android. The tape measure of a carpenter. They're also planning a con show. That doesn't excite me. We've had a lot of con, and we've had reboots of con, and we even had con's ancestors in Enterprise. The only con is Ricardo Montalban. Ricardo Montalban, you guys. That's my con. You know, I guess we go through the, what was it, the eugenic wars? Something like that. Star Trek has a lot of history that's never been shown. Canonic history that's never been shown. It is nice to see that type of stuff. No more con. No more con. Would the Drumhead be Federation or just Starfleet? I sometimes forget that there's a difference. But there is a difference. Earth Fleet. No more Soong either, please. Yeah, when I heard that Brent Spiner was coming back for season 3 of Picard, I was like, no, they kind of overused him. I love Brent Spiner. I want him to be in everything. But they overused him to play Soong everything, right? But coming back as Lore, that works. That's fine. I'm actually okay with that one. At least it's not some ancestor of, or fourth cousin of Soong, right? I'm all about it. Kroom says, I thought you said porn show. Every show is a porn show if you watch it right or watch it wrong. Worry too, but for now I'm good. Yeah, let's get through, before we worry about anything, let's get through Picard season 3. Let's celebrate all of our old friends going on this adventure one last time. We'll talk about it. We'll have fun with it. Maybe I'll start doing review videos so I can sum all this up in 5 minutes. But our first conversation about Picard season 3, which I didn't even expect to have until I watched it at 3 o'clock this morning. Maybe I'll make a video, but I wanted our first conversation to be live and together. And I'm glad so many of you caught up and watched the episode as soon as you can, so you didn't get any spoilers. Though we didn't really give away much spoilers. There's not really much spoilers to give away with this first episode. I'm betting, though, next week's episode, there'll be a lot to spoil. So I'm going to try to figure out what to do about that. Maybe wait till later in the day, or maybe wait till the next day to talk about it. But I wanted to get here as soon as possible with this. Thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to talk more about this and all the other things we like to talk about. I want to see what's going on with Picard. What's up with Beverly? When are we going to see Lore? Assuming that is Lore. Kind of felt like Lore, did it not? And it seems like Lore from the trailers has been doing some work with the synthetics. It looks like he's been redone a little bit to look a little bit more human. Even though you can kind of tell that it's still Lore. But it seems like he has more humanish human skin and hair and all that stuff. Yeah, we finally got him, but I watch everything with Brent, really. I love Brent. I just want him to get out of that family line and play something else. And we're technically getting that. He's not part of the family line, even though he kind of is, but in a different way. But I'll see you guys very soon. We'll talk very soon. And